welcome to Study Skills 101. Have you ever wondered how two people can go into the same room, study for the same amount of time, and get drastically different results on their exams? I'm here to tell you that there's a reason for that. Study skills. One person has study skills and one person doesn't. We're going to go over 5 key study skills that are going to really boost your grades and get you top examination marks. Topic number 1, lectures. What to do in lectures. Number 1, you want to identify the key topics of what the lecture is about. And number 2, you need to figure out from how long the lecturer spends on each topic, what level of information you need to learn each key topic in. There's 3 levels of information. Number 1, learning just the definition. Number 2, learning a definition plus an example. And number 3 is learning a definition plus an example plus getting an understanding of what the topic is really about. If the lecturer only spends about 5 minutes on a topic, you know it's just at a definition level. Therefore, when you revise the topic, you don't need a really in-depth understanding. If the lecturer spends half an hour on a topic, most likely he expects you to have an in-depth understanding of it, in addition to being able to define it and give an example. A key place you can get definitions fast, which are exam ready, is the glossary in the back of your textbook. Often the glossary is overlooked and it actually contains some really on point definitions that you can use in examinations. Topic number 2, do not underestimate the importance of revising after your lecture. I can't tell you how many people don't do this. I know some people have lectures back to back and it's really a pain and you've got a lot going on in the day. But take an hour or even half an hour to go to the library after your lecture and study what you learn, instead of waiting a few days in which time you'll forget the information. Don't be afraid just to have a quick skim through your textbook after your lecture, and it can really recap the topics. What you can do is you can close your textbook at first and try to remember the 5 key topics from the lecture or the chapter you're on. If you can't remember the key topics, you need to go back and revise those topics again. If you do this every single time you have a lecture, you're going to remember a lot more information, and when it comes to the exam, you're going to need to do a lot less work. Topic number 3, the importance of going to the library at least 8 weeks before an exam and studying and revising there. Why is this so important, you might ask? Because you're going to make amazing social groups, you're going to make amazing study groups, and meet people that are studying your subject that you can build knowledge with. You can literally walk around the library, look for people that have the same textbook as you, and ask them questions about what they think is going to be in the exam, or a question that you're stuck on. You will be surprised how willing they are to help you, and you'll make great study groups in the process. By the time it comes to the exam, there will be nothing that they cannot ask you that you cannot anticipate. And that's the key to getting amazing grades. Build yourself a study group, don't be afraid to go and talk to people, and be social. That's key. Topic number 4, the importance of using exam papers to predict what you think is going to be in the exam. This is probably the most important study skill that you could ever learn. Go back and see what was on the previous exams and see if you can figure out a pattern, and do the exam questions, do the previous exam questions, and see how well you do. That's a great test of how well you studied and how well you know the data and the information that you're trying to really ace. After you've identified the key topics which come up in your past exam papers, go back and look at your tutorial notes and your lecture notes and see what topics remain consistent through the past exam papers, the tutorial notes and the lecture notes. You need to figure out what level of information will the questions be looking for, and learn the topics in that level of information once you've predicted what's going to be on the exam. By this time you're going to have a really fantastic library study group and talk about what you think is going to be in the exam with them too. Topic number 5, and this is really underrated. Do not be afraid to ask your lecturer what's going to be in the exam and questions about, am I going in the right direction? You can say to him, listen, I love your subject. I'm really passionate. I'm working on these key topics. This is what I think is going to be in the exam. Can you lead me in the right direction? Am I on the right track? And make sure you are. Do not underestimate the importance of literally going to your tutor in the office hours that they provide or straight after the lecture and quizzing your tutor and your lecturer. What's in the exam? What questions will I be asked? This is what I'm working on now. Show that you're working, show that you're dedicated, and show that you're passionate, and you'll be surprised how much they're willing to help you. I hope you've enjoyed Study Skills 101. 5 key topics. Topic 1, what to do in lectures. You identify your key topics and the level of information that you need to learn those key topics in. In topic number 2, we covered the importance of revising straight after your lecture. Even if you've got back-to-back lectures, make sure you can close your textbook and recap what you just learned. What are the key points in each chapter? If you don't know these, you need to go back through the chapter and test yourself again until you do remember the points. In topic number 3, we covered the importance of libraries, finding people on your course and building social groups and study groups that we can really leverage towards our exam success. In topic number 4, we talked about how we can use past exam papers to identify patterns, compare those patterns with the patterns that we've identified from our lecture notes and our tutorial notes, and predict what's going to come up in the exam. In topic number 5, we discussed the importance of going to your lecturers in their office hours or after the lecture itself, and going and asking them what's going to be on the exam, telling them what you're studying and asking if you're on the right track. You'll be surprised how much they're willing to give away of what's going to be in the exam and what you should really be spending your time revising. I hope you've enjoyed Study Skills 101. My name is Tamir Jacob, and I really hope you've taken a lot from this. You can take these skills, internalize them, and use them to your benefit to get top examination grades. Have an awesome day, and I wish you the best of luck in your examinations.